as does Brightwing. Mad Timmy getting very low. Oh my goodness, the Hinterland Blast just narrowly does not grab Vala, but now Brightwing will go down, as does Uther, as does Diablo, and now E-Dubs does die. Taronda dies as well, and now his base drop is left. Lyricals is schooled very low, but they're able to secure a team kill on Go Gaming. That's definitely what they needed. And that entire time, some sieges were pushing up top and took out the gate on the top lane.
Yeah, Flick of the Wrist could not have wanted anything more than a total team wipe there. They are going to look to try and steal the boss while the rest of Goat Gaming is down. This is a lot of back and forth in this game. The levels are almost equal at this point. And like you said, the fact that those Siege Giants were pushing, as well as these Bruisers here in the mid lane, and were being ignored because Goat Gaming felt that the push on the bottom was more worthwhile than dealing with some piddly mercenaries, is now a big point of contention in this game.
And now look, Brightwing with that phase shift able to come right back to this group and help them secure that boss, although they got stunned, and oh my gosh, Curse Fury almost able to shadow charge in, but wasn't able to quite do that. Man, Radlock and Towels got stunned there by the boss right at the end. Had they waited a minuscule of a second sooner, they probably would have had that contested by Diablo, but as it was, they were able to catch it. Brightwing was able to sprint away, and now Goat Gaming are having to deal with this boss, which is pushing toward their bottom keep.
It's always good as a team like Flick of the Wrist to know that your enemies are having to deal with something that you did, so you know where they are, you have a little time to plan your next move, and it looks like their next move will be to group up and charge down the mid lane. Uther was a little bit out of position, was definitely going to see them coming. They're going to take down this turret right away, and they're going to be pushing in against this inner wall. It looks like all the members of Goat Gaming are also there. Neither team at an advantage or a disadvantage levels-wise. And both teams now having 3 forts left, although it looks like Flick of the Wrist still leading in kills a little bit. They are not going to press their luck on those kills, though. They're going to run toward top lane, instead look for advantages other places. It looks like Goat Gaming trying to kind of even up the amount of mercenaries that are fighting for each team. They're going to look to take their bruiser camp, probably run up toward their siege camp right now. Well, it looks like Flick of the Wrist is going to be pushing in on this top lane. We should be seeing a team fight here pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, for sure. Interesting note, Uther taking Benediction at level 16. It's kind of a cool rewind sort of thing where you press it and then you reduce the cooldown of your next basic ability, so you can kind of use it for whatever you want. You can use it and then stun. Oh, Brightwing trying to bribe, actually, but not able to, and now Radlock's in a terrible position. Gets taken out very quickly. Oh, but Hinterland Blast deals so much damage to Taronda and Jaina and Vala, and now they're able to, or I guess it was somebody else, Pythix and Curse Fury are now on the run, even though they were initially able to take out that Brightwing. Lyricals is very low, staying toward the back. They're still chasing after though, and Curse Fury is going to be able to run in and get false dad. Not sure if they'll be able to capitalize. They're trying to body block him. Tells is trying to deal the damage. Pythix goes down, followed by Diablo, and that is another team wipe on the side of Flick of the Wrist. Wow, that Hinterland Blast.
And being Diablo, feeling confident enough to run in and finish off Falstad, but only finding yourself in a position where now you are going to die, and you're going to leave your poor squishy little Vala to die as well. Only Diablo is now alive on the side of Goat Gaming.
Had enough souls to come back, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Once again, capitalizing on the team wipe, Flick of the Wrist are going to be able to pick up this golem, and once Brightwing comes back up, what's she going to do? She's going to phase shift in. That makes sure that they have just the numbers as much as possible. Now, they are taking this down as fast as possible. Goat Gaming is trying to run in, but it seems like they're breaking off. They know it's probably not going to happen, and instead they are just going to push back their lanes and be ready to defend once it heads closer to their base.
Neither team being too concerned right now about a tribute, because either team would not get a curse on them. Obviously, with Flick of the Wrist having won, neither team wants to give up a tribute, but they certainly aren't going to be dashing for it the way they might if a curse was in the balance. We do see that this boss is going to be pushing here top, so Goat Gaming is going to have to deal with that. It's not something you can just ignore. There's not a whole lot of other amazing things for them to do on this map right now either, so defense is probably the best option. Looks like Flick of the Wrist is also hanging out in the top, hoping that the RNG will smile upon them, and it does. They are in exactly the place where the tribute spawns, and they will likely be able to pick that up because of it.
Go Gaming did such a good job there of even though they really wanted to engage in on that boss, they didn't. They knew they weren't level 20, and they knew Flick of the Wrist was. They had those storm level talents, and that could have been really detrimental here. A team wipe at this point, guys, that can end the game. So Flick of the Wrist is going to pick up the tribute, and everyone's going to back off a little bit. They're just trying to keep their lanes pushed. It does seem like Flick of the Wrist might be trying to head in here a little bit and catch somebody out of position. If they could, like I said before, if they could get a team wipe here or a bunch of kills, they could definitely take a keep down. And they're just gonna keep posturing.
At this point in the game, too, when there aren't a lot of advantages on the map, a lot of times you're kind of looking at, oh, what do we do? What do we do? At that point, you're really looking for your opponent to make a mistake. You're looking for somebody to step out of line. You're looking for someone to overextend. And when you're right there kind of along the battle lines, you're really hoping that maybe someone will do that. In this case, Flick of the Wrist deciding there is an advantage better than waiting for someone to make a mistake. They're going to go back and grab their Siege Giants, which again happen to be close to the tribute spawning here in the bottom, although Goat Gaming is directly en route and will be there ready to take on their opponents there as well.
Alright, so this will definitely be a team fight. They do not want to let Flick of the Wrist get this tribute, and they're going to start by picking it up. Now remember, Brightwing has that Emerald Wind. She's going to use it right away. Schooled gets very, very low, but does receive the heal. Equinox has to go back, dies so quickly, but so does Schooled. Also gets taken out. Pythix will be the next to fall. Mad Timmy's right in there, does Divine Storm. Curse Fury is trying to take Lyricals out, but Jaina is going to be the next one, and Mad Timmy's getting very, very low. They want to try to catch him. They do, and now only Curse Fury is left on Diablo. He's going to try to run away, but this team's not going to let him go. ETC is fine with grabbing the tribute. Everyone else is going to try to chase, but they're playing this smart. They know Curse Fury is just trying to buy time, but they have the curse. They can push. They have 4 people up, only 1 person down, and only Diablo is up on the side of Goat Gaming.
The lonely Lord of Souls is in exile on the wrong side of the map and is now going to run back to his base to try to do anything he can to defend, as it looks like Flick of the Wrist is threatening the core at this point. They also have mercenaries coming back to back them up. They're looking a little bit split. They're pushing the core.
They are going to push the core. The Diablo's Lightning Breath is actually dealing a ton of damage. The Lyrical's getting very low. Actually, they have to take an Ancestral Heal from Rhaegar, and they're going to actually have to leave now. Tyrande and Vala are up. They've thrown Lyricals. Lyricals really wants to get away. He's the top hero damage dealer of their team right now. He's got tons of gathering power stacks. They are able to get away, but they are being chased as well from Curse Fury, and there goes the flight. Falstad is saved.
Yeah, it looks like there might have been a tiny bit of confusion on behalf of Flick of the Wrist. They had one person kind of wailing on these outside structures, trying to take them out before all committing to going for the core. They didn't really have quite enough people to maybe do that in that situation, eventually deciding to back out. Diablo must feel pretty good about himself, scaring them all away. Now looking to grab some mercenaries on behalf of both teams. Flick of the Wrist looking to steal some mercenaries from Goat Gaming. They will be grabbing that siege camp, the Brightwing Bribe coming in very handy. Their School and Radlock now pushing in on the top lane. Sylvanas using that handy ability to really take down those structures quickly alongside their shiny new Siege Giants. They also, though, need to be aware that Goat Gaming has a boss pushing bottom.
Flick of the Wrist doing a really good job of taking advantage of the mobility, but Base Drop actually bolts in to try to get Radlock. Can't quite do it. Fury's now throwing him as well, but Radlock gets the heal, the Ancestral Heal from Rhaegar, and now Lyricals drops down that Hinterland Blast. Mad Timmy and Base Drop get very low. Curse Fury also getting rather low, and as Diablo, that's not a great place you want to be in. E-Dubs is forced to step back, getting a little bit scary in his health bar as well. Nobody dies in that fight, but just showing that their mobility of Flick of the Wrist is something that is so awesome for them, because Brightwing can always be there with an Emerald Wind to disengage or engage upon.
And we saw Stage Dive coming in handy as Talls went to go and grab this boss that's doing so much damage to their bottom lane, and it's actually now on their core. They don't want anyone touching their core, but at this point at least they know it's not going to be able to take it down. Falstad is here to finish him off, and they will turn their attention back to their opposing team. Goat Gaming is now hovering around their boss. That's something they really don't want to happen. So both teams posturing around what they know is a very tasty little morsel on this map.
Yeah, Goat Gaming winning the structure war, even though they've been losing the last few team fights. And now we've got another one. Radlock is come in trying to drop the Emerald Wind, and does drop it, but does die for her sins as well. So now everyone's just trying to get back, but a Divine Storm actually catches E-Dubs, but he does heal himself, so Uther will be the next one to go down. Talz and Curse Fury both getting really low, but ETC will be the first one to drop, and now Flick of the Wrist has got to get out of there. They're losing Sylvanas. They've lost everybody else. They're probably going to lose E-Dubs, who's very, very low, and a stun from Toronto will seal the deal. Now Lyricals is the only one left for 60 seconds, except for Brightwing. Goat Gaming is now going to pick up, this boss, but not before getting actually a ton of damage from the Hinterland Blast. But Lyricals is now going to be the one that died. Although that Diablo will die too, he did have souls. Equinox and Base Drop will still be able to pick up this boss, and now that's everybody down on the side of Flick of the Wrist.
Yeah, Falstad looking maybe a little bit desperate there to try and do as much damage as possible, but paying for it with his life. There was a tribute right here. There's a possibility that he could have gone and tried to steal that while they were busy with the boss. Probably not as worth as killing that Vala and maybe running away at that point, but now some death timers working themselves out on behalf of Flick of the Wrist. They've also got a boss coming down their top lane from Goat Gaming. Looks like Brightwing will be on that as soon as she's up, closely followed by the rest of the team. They'll be trying to take that boss down. It looks like Goat Gaming not wasting time taking the mercenaries on their side of the map. They want to push in with this boss that's already on the core. They feel content with the idea that they are able to take it down on their own right now. That core right now at 93%, but still with a shield on it. Lots of contention from Flick of the Wrist.
E-Dubs is able to heal himself. Now Equinox will go down. That Tyrande is dead thanks to that Emerald Wind not being able to get over there. Falstad actually flies behind Mad Timmy and friends, but oh my gosh, that core getting so low. 16%. They've got to take out Chris Fury, Mad Timmy, and Base Rep. They're not going to be able to do it. It's at 4%. And wow, in a surprise comeback, Goat Gaming actually takes the first game in the best of 3 finals.
That was a risky run at the core. It looked for a second like they might have made a wrong decision by not taking out the insurance policy of going for those mercenaries when they had the room on the map. But they knew that they had the burst to take it down, and they did. Even Diablo using that lightning breath to just melt the core down at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I say a comeback, but they were never really too far behind. Even though we saw Flick of the Wrist get their level 20 talents first, and they sort of had that really clutch curse, they were behind structurally the whole game. Goats just did an awesome job of continuing to keep up the pressure. Even though they got behind, they didn't let it shake them, or lost a couple team fights, I should say. They didn't let it shake them too much. They were able to keep the pressure up, and that basically opened up the possibility of later on getting that clutch golem that they were able to push in upon and win the game.
Really interesting. Look at Diablo's hero damage as the highest in
lightning
the
breath.
Game. Yeah. That's great. And it was interesting. I saw that lightning breath pick. We've seen a lot of Apocalypse in these short, tight spaces where you know that an entire team's kind of going to be bunched up and can't quite get away from the Apocalypse. So I'm watching with interest to see how to better use lightning breath myself, and that's certainly a good proof of its application.
I also want to point out that, guys, Falstad's totally viable, dealing a ton of damage. It's all about positioning. I love Falstad so much. But that's super cool to see him even taking out people with his Hinterland Blast.
Yeah.
Did get a little cocky there toward the end with that golem, but did take out both Diablo and somebody else for his troubles. So that was pretty cool to see. Unfortunately, just not quite enough. A super close, super awesome first game of this best of 3 series. I cannot wait for the next one, Anna.
I know those levels stayed so even the whole time, so we'll see if the teams have any counter picks in mind for each other in the next match.
Yeah, let's just go to break so we can get to that. I'm so pumped. Let's do it. We'll be back,
okay.
Guys.
I know you're a monster.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Heroes Hype Amateur Series, and this could be it, guys. We're going into Game 2 with Goat Gaming versus Flick of the Wrist, and I'm Gillyweed, and this is Anna.
Hi guys, we are already ready for the draft. These teams probably are as hype as we are. We saw an incredible, very well matched game last game, and last time we saw this draft, we saw an Insta Kerrigan ban because apparently Flick of the Wrist knew about Go Gaming that you don't want to let them have that Kerrigan, but we don't have Kerrigan bans this time. Gilly, let's look at this draft.
We shall. We do not have a Kerrigan ban. Flick of the Wrist choosing to be first pick and first ban, and they've chosen to ban Illidan with a ban of Rhaegar from Goat Gaming.
Interesting. And Goat Gaming not responding with a Kerrigan pick right off the bat. I suppose they still have the option to do that. But instead, we see the first pick, Jaina, like you said, from Flick of the Wrist. Goat Gaming answering, they banned Rhaegar, but answering with Tyrande and Sylvanas. So Sylvanas being able to do tons of damage, Tyrande being kind of that 0.5 support, also being able to pair well with damage dealers in that she can use that Hunter's Mark to really amplify the hurt.
I would say that I bet it's coming, but you're right, we don't see the Kerrigan just yet. Flick of the Wrist has followed up with ETC Vala. So they've got Jaina, ETC, and Vala, and there you go, my friend. A very, very quick Kerrigan Uther.
I'm so excited.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I have not seen Kerrigan in a competitive game in a long time.
And it's what's important to note here is that it's the Kerrigan with a Tyrande and an Uther. So there is a lot of displacement and stuns available there to them. And especially if they can drop I don't know if they'll do a Divine Storm or maybe a Divine Shield just to make sure they keep Kerrigan alive, but if they were to drop a ton of stuns from a Divine Storm and then have Kerrigan Maelstrom in on top, that's going to be a lot of damage, and especially on this map where you're going to be wanting to fight over those temples, you're going to want to fight in certain areas, and she's going to be pushing you and pulling you around.
So Flick of the Wrist deciding that they care more about not fighting against Illidan than about not fighting against Kerrigan. That's an interesting choice because they didn't play against Illidan last game. So,
Well, Goat Gaming had chosen to ban the Illidan before.
Yeah.
So now they banned, it's interesting to me, yes, again, that they had decided not to ban, once again, the Kerrigan and see if Go Gaming would ban the Illidan, but maybe they just didn't want to have to play against him on this map or something like that. For whatever reason, they are choosing to now pick up Tassadar and probably just one more sort of a main support here to round out their composition. And I would guess that they have liked Malfurion in the past. Do you think they'll go with that again, or do you think they'll go with their Brightwing?
considering that Rhaegar is out of the running, Uther is out of the running, I wouldn't be surprised to see Malfurion, but I also, considering how these games have gone, wouldn't be surprised to see Brightwing. I'm hoping for Brightwing, maybe. And Brightwing with Sky Temple might make some sense because, like we've talked about, the Emerald Wind, the amount of mobility really could help with making sure to grab temples or push people off temples or separate others. And it will be Brightwing, so we will see that, probably that Emerald Wind this time as well. Now, Goat Gaming gets one more pick. They also... what? Gilly.
It's
our dreams are
Tyrael.
coming true.
It is.
Are we dreaming?
We're
Are we dreaming right now?
Tyrael
and Kerrigan.
I think maybe we actually saw this last week, but I can't quite remember, but I'm hyped either way. Oh my gosh, Tyrael and Kerrigan. I'm so pumped. Guys, of course, Tyrael is going to be really awesome. He is not quite as tanky as, you know, the ETCs, the Diablos, but what he lacks in tankiness, he makes up in his quickness and mobility and his ability to be in the exact place you want him to be in because of his Eldrin's Might. So we'll be seeing him probably using that a lot of times to body block, moving quickly in and out of the fight. I am so ready for this game, Anna. Are you pumped?
I am. I don't even know what to begin to look for from Goat Gaming. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Flick of the Wrist having to deal with a comp that maybe they haven't had to deal with from other teams because we just don't see Kerrigan very often. Everyone else, even Tyrael, we see once in a while. But the name of the game for Goat Gaming is going to be definitely protect the squishies. At least they have Uther, who's kind of an anomaly as a tankish support. So maybe that was the thought in making sure that they brought in Uther as their main support.
The name of the game all day, at least initially, and carrying into that also will be try to pull someone out of position and take them down fast. Now, I think one time last week we actually saw them with the Kerrigan and the Jaina, which was crazy because it would be a pull, a stun from Tron or Uther, and then an insta-kill from Jaina and Kerrigan. They don't have that this time. The Jaina is definitely on the side of Flick of the Wrist, but they can still get a lot done between Sylvanas and Kerrigan as well. So
what an interesting large-headed Master Kerrigan we're looking at right now.
Those are some huge dreadlocks right there.
They sure are.
All right, so we're going to introduce these players on the side of Goat Gaming. The blue team, we've got Base Drop on Sylvanas, Equinox on the Kerrigan, Curse Fury playing Tyrael, Pythix playing Tyrande, and Mad Timmy on the big head Uther. Uther.
And playing in the red trunks, we have Flick of the Wrist. Schooled will take Vala. E-Dubs will play Tassadar. Lyricals will be on Jaina. Radlock on Brightwing. And Talls will take up the ETC.
Oh, snaps, and they've caught themselves a Tyrande who quickly goes down, but Kerrigan is in there with the pull on Lyricals just as quickly takes out Sylvanas. Now Schooled's trying to get away, does receive a shield. Thanks to Tassadar, Radlock trying to help her get away just a little bit, but oh my goodness, another pull! Another pull from Kerrigan, and Vala goes down too with Radlock taking a lot of damage, and that's gonna be what they're gonna have to watch out for all game long.
Didn't realize that this is why I love Diablo so much, because it reminded me of the Kerrigan pull, where you can just pull people into a place they really don't want to be.
That's true. On one side, it's like tossing someone over your shoulder, and on the other side, it's just like grabbing with spikes and pulling you in.
So it looks like, again, we're seeing one each in top and bottom, and we're seeing kind of a party/roaming gank squad happening here in the middle. We will see the top and middle shrines spawning right away, or temples rather, excuse me. And it looks like Flick of the Wrist is in a good position to take this middle shrine. Tyrael, Curse Fury is going to look to potentially contest the middle temple, but nobody's really paying attention to this top one, so it's primed and ready for ETC. Oh, just kidding, ETC's not going to go to grab it.
No, Lyrical's so out of position, takes a lot of damage, but somehow still running away. Tal's doing a great job of zoning. Oh my gosh, she's so low. I can't believe he's getting away right now. What is this game? Oh, there's the jump from Kerrigan to secure the kill. But now Kerrigan's in quite a bad position herself, needs to get away. She will drop. Curse Fury taking a lot of damage as well. One more shot from Schooled finishes off. Now she's gonna die, or not die, but take a lot of damage from Tyrael blowing up. And for now, it seems like Flick of the Wrist will keep a hold of this middle temple, but with the close respawn timers, people could be right back up before the end of this temple.
Tassadar running up to try to make use of that top temple. Uther hot on his heels, but not contesting. Tassadar will take that top temple, and now both temples are firing on behalf of Flick of the Wrist.
There it is, the Kerrigan pull followed by the Tyrande stun just secures another kill on the side of Goat Gaming. They take out the Brightwing. They've got this temple on lock. They're headed up for the top temple, and Flick of the Wrist are going to run away. They do not want to get in that. Now Talos has come back in trying to secure those last few shots. Schooled and Base Drop both come down for the bottom, or from the top. Curse Fury getting very low. Talos body blocking him. Oh my goodness, but a clutch shield of righteousness saves the day. He's going to be getting out very quickly. Meanwhile, Uther just spinning in circles, hanging out on top. Gets those last few shots.
Got me a tempo. Yeah, like you said about Tyrael, Gilly, maybe not having the amount of sustainability, being able to soak up damage, but being able to get out of the way when necessary after soaking up some damage definitely proved that, just like you said.
Yeah, you gotta really believe in the power of Eldarin's might, though, because you gotta throw that thing out and then teleport to it, and it's a scary couple of seconds when if you freeze up, you will die, and that was so close. But now we are seeing a little bit of rotation. Remember, the next temple to spawn will be this bot one, and we'll see the gank squad return. Then here it is, trying to pull in. Schooled bolts out of the way, does not get caught by the Quee from Equinox. But Kerrigan's just going to bide her time a little bit. Now Tells has come in. Schooled's in Radlock, and Lyrical's all coming in, trying to maybe deal some damage. They get pulled in by Equinox, though, and taking a lot of damage. Jaina will go down thanks to a clutch Envenom from... What? Who envenomed? Kerrigan, of course. Kerrigan gets envenomed. So it's something to note here, guys, is that both Kerrigan and Sylvanas get envenomed. They can really burn down a target very quickly, and that's what they are aiming to do. Whereas there's only one envenom on the side of Flick the Wrist.
I'm like nail biting. I'm having so much fun watching this. I think that damage is just my favorite part, and there's so much damage dealing going on, especially with with Kerrigan, aka Equinox, leading the charge. Really enjoying this. Looks like Goat Gaming will grab their siege camp, and they've actually grabbed quite a lot of blue down here. They also grabbed siege camps on their side. So now 2 layers of siege are fighting here in the bottom. They've got 3 players pushing alongside it. Uther is poised here at the top soaking experience. Tyrael was at mid soaking experience as well. While Lyricals and Schooled go ahead and take out this bruiser camp, but the bottom temple is now spawning, and we've got 3 members of Goat Gaming in great position to take that.
Equinox was able to pull in Towels and secure a kill on the ETC, and now with this 4 already gone, that's going to be very rough, because they'll have to push back this push of minions and mercs before they'll even be able to try to contest into this temple. But I don't really think that they're going to, because they're down 2 levels, and we've talked about this bottom temple and how difficult it is to try to contest into.
And we have Tyrael and Kerrigan poised and waiting in the grass for any errant little children who might come their way. And realizing that they're not going to be contested, going back out onto the map, making sure that they don't lose experience that they could otherwise be soaking up. Looks like Flick of the Wrist is going to try and grab that vision tower and going to go for the top lane while their opponents are presumably busy in the bottom lane. Their opponents are not far off. Tyrael is here to defend, as well as Kerrigan. They are going to be up against 5 though, so they're going to wait to engage until the rest of their team joins them, but it looks like they are about to do.
They're also up against level 10 heroes who have Wailing Arrow, Divine Shield. So there it is. I postulated, and there it is for sure. Equinox is in, pulls in Radlock, who also gets judgmented and is going to die because of Envenom. So much Envenom, so much poison. Miracles is the next one to get very low, but for now is safe. They're just going to try to protect this fort. They've lost their Brightwing, but in 6 seconds she can teleport back in, so they're throwing as much damage as they can without getting killed themselves. Brightwing is back. Lyricals is low though, so we're going to have to be careful if she's not going to head all the way back. They really need those level 10 talents.
Yeah, Flick of the Wrist does have their mercenaries as much as they can captured, but they're looking for those respawn timers to come back so they can push there as well. They need to get experience, so they need to knock down some structures, they need to win some team fights, they need to be in lanes. None of those things that they are doing right this second, so they're looking for an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, they're trying to lane a little bit, but Goat being so aggressive, as is their style. They're even going after the boss now, and without level 10 talent, it's going to be so hard to engage into this. And actually, Toronto taking Shadow Stalk, something we don't often see. Generally, it's Starfall, but it's just going to help them even set up the perfect fights even better now. Of course, Maelstrom and Judgment, we saw those in the last fight. And the Divine Shield, that's going to be so crucial in helping generally keep probably Equinox alive, but possibly also either any one of the other ones, whoever gets focused, just making them have to change their focus for a little bit. And they do secure that boss no problem, while Flick of the Wrist is just now hit 10.
And the temples at top and bottom have spawned. We do see Goat Gaming down here at the bottom and Flick of the Wrist being up here at the top, but they're giving up their position for that top temple to come down and answer to this bottom push where the boss is aiding Goat Gaming and pushing against this bottom lane. Nobody is paying attention to the temples because there is enough going on with 4 sieges and a boss pushing the bottom lane. All 5 of Goat Gaming will join this fight as well.
Not to mention a Sylvanas who can stop structures from attacking this boss, meaning that Flick of the Wrist has to put their own damage. It's the only way they can get any damage done on the boss, especially when there's no minions up. Look how fast it goes down. Now Tails is coming in a little bit, but they're down by 2 levels. They just want to try to take out this boss before it takes out the keep, but it's going to be so close. Oh my gosh, can they do it? Oh, they shield the keep, but the final siege from the Siege Giants finishes off the keep, and that is a keep down at 845.
Wow, that was a push. It's like I was looking at that going, wait, what point in the game are we at? How do they have all of that right now? And now they're turning their attention to this temple, but willing to ignore it to get into a team fight. They know they have level 13. They know they have momentum. They know they have an advantage. ETC is looking to get melted down. Will he go down? The Maelstrom from Kerrigan will take him down, as well as Uther. Oh my God, will go down.
Jaina is down. Brightwing is now down. There's only E-Dubs and School left, and E-Dubs is taking so much damage. He was the recipient of a lot of Envenom there, and now drops. Tacitor is down. That's all 5 heroes down. And it looks like a little bit of confusion. Go Gaming trying to decide whether or not they should really just go for core there. They're going to back up. They're going to go for the sure and safe bet, which is to go after these temples. Whew. We did see ETC try to mosh pit, but Kerrigan was so on top of pulling him out of that, he did not get anything done.
They're not gonna. Oh, okay, so just Tyrael's gonna grab this bottom temple. I guess it just takes 1 when your opponents are not there. The rest of them going and looking to take this top temple, or at least take out Lyricals, who is Jaina, who is squishy and out of position. Jaina will go down. Schooled, Talls, and E-Dubs being too late to save her and debating with themselves whether they dare engage with all 4 of these members of Goat Gaming, who are now taking the top temple as well. Both temples firing upon this base that is looking a little bit bedraggled already at 10 minutes into the game. Level 14 for Goat Gaming versus 12 for Flick of the Wrist.
Yeah, and they just hit 15 with structures down as well. Flick of the Wrist has not grabbed their level 13 talents yet, and Go Gaming's on the way to 16. That is a scary place to be at. They do have their heroics. They could try to get something done on that, maybe with an Emerald win, but it's going to be so tough. Kerrigan is on top of all of them, just not really giving them any room to even breathe.
Wow. That top temple is still available. They decided to ease off of it, apparently. Go back and heal. They're also going to grab their siege. Looks like they're going to grab... Okay, so Go Gaming is going to grab their siege giants again. They're going to grab their opponent's siege giants again. And it looks like that bottom lane is going to be in severe danger. They're not even worried about the fact that this top temple has gone the way of Flick of the Wrist and is attacking their structures because they have such an advantage right now. Tyrande moving past their bruisers, looking to contest this wave of mercenaries that's here. But all 4 of Flick of the Wrist are also pushing up there. I can't help but think that maybe this is a decoy to try to keep them up there. Well, nope, just kidding. Everyone's going to come join them. They're all going to have a lovely little team fight team party.
You know, if they took that top temple, they had several more structures to go through, but getting those siege giants on bottom is huge because bot is where the push is at for them. Bot is completely down, and anything that pushes bot goes to core. So that means that people have to go back to defend, and that's exactly what we're seeing. That leaves Goat Gaming to be able to go ahead and pick up other advantages and push other lanes, and it eventually just capitalize on that in such a way that they basically have made it to where there's no move that Flick of the Wrist can make. Now they're setting up to fight, but level 16 talents are there for Goat Gaming. Flick of the Wrist doesn't have them. They're having difficulty trying to figure out where to engage and how to come back in this game.
Yeah, there's not a lot of mercenaries that are up soon either, except for Boss in 20 seconds, and it does look like Goat Gaming is headed that direction. They would love to keep wailing on this bottom lane, and maybe that's what they're waiting for, because there aren't too many other advantages that they can take with that space that they created by forcing Flick of the Wrist to go back and deal with that bot push. It looks like Flick of the Wrist is maybe looking to see what they're doing, and that's what Goat Gaming is hoping for. They are just lying in wait in the grass, hoping to engage with their level 16 talents.
Yep, there goes Talus. He's gonna get pulled in. He does get shielded, but here comes Maelstrom. He gets melted. Ah, so much melt. Brightwing goes down next. Gold is so slow. Tassadar is going to be the next one to die. Lyricals is trying to drop lots of frozen damage, but it's not gonna matter. Jaina's down. Skuld is basically down, and they don't even need the boss now, guys, or any of the temples. They've got heroes down for 20 more seconds, and obviously they've proven they can deal a lot of damage, so they're going straight for core. That will be such a decisive game number 2 in this best of 3.
Wow. So I guess what we learned from this game is don't let Equinox have Kerrigan. That was incredible. That last trap that they laid, it's rare that we see traps work that well. It was like a predator lying in wait in the grass. The entire team patiently waiting until ETC was out of position and could be jumped upon, and the rest of the team followed suit and was quickly melted down. What a really cool game. Over in 1:335 seconds. 2 more and it would have been Leet, Gilly.
Why couldn't you have let it go on 2 more seconds? That was such a fail on Goat Gaming's part. Just kidding. GG to both teams. Great job, Goat Gaming. You've won a 2nd Heroes Hype Amateur Series in a row. So that's week 6 and week 7. Will they be back for week 8? We'll have to find out next week.
Only time will tell, Gilly. That was, I'm so blown away. Every time I saw the Maelstrom come out, it did so much more than I expected with the team comp that was built around Kerrigan to keep her healthy and to also just like continue taking down other heroes. I mean, Tyrande and Sylvanas are usually the stars of damage, so having them working as well alongside Kerrigan, it was just, I'm going to have to watch that game again.
Well, thankfully you can, thanks to the miracles of replay systems.
I sure can.
Well, guys, that is it for this week's Heroes Hype Amateur Series. Don't forget to follow Heroes Hype on all the things. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, check out HeroesHype.com. They have awesome recaps both in the esports scene for all of the different scenes, as well as some cool ways for you to keep up with community content as well.
Yeah, guys, please do take the time to thank them for what they do. They do amazing things for this community just because they love it and they want to make it a really awesome, positive, growing place. So please take the time to hit the follow button on this stream so you can be notified when Heroes Hype Amateur Series goes live again. And, you know, do everything you can to let them know how much you appreciate and love them. We really appreciate them giving us this platform to learn and practice our casting, as that's been something Gilly and I have really been working on.
We have. It's so much fun. Thank you so much to you guys, too, who are watching. We hope you enjoyed the games. And if you want to join in, make a team. Come join us, play. It's a lot of fun. Or if not, always continue to watch. We'll be back here next Wednesday as well. If you guys want to follow me, my name is Gillyweed or GillyweedSC2, so you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at GillyweedSC2. I stream Heroes every weekday at 3 p.m. and also host this really cool show called Eye on the Storm with Anna here, and that's on Thursdays at 7:15 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/missclicks.
It is a pretty cool show, I have to say. Missclicks is with no C at the end, MISSCLIKS. Be sure to tune in. We have a show tomorrow. We'll be looking at kind of how Sylvanas has been developing in some of this new patch stuff. We usually have a pro on to teach us a few things and lead the discussion. If you want to follow me personally, you can find me at AnnaProsser on Twitter, as well as just about everywhere else, including Twitch. I stream Heroes every day except Sunday. Either, you know, on my own channel, or I'm doing things on other channels like Missclicks or here on Heroes Hype. So the best way to keep in touch with what I'm doing is to follow me on Twitter, and I'll tweet links. Really appreciate that when you guys do hang out with me, hoping that we'll see lots of awesome stuff going on for Heroes in the future. I'm personally involved with Heroes of the Dorm, so if you haven't heard about that yet, please go to heroesofthedorm.com and check that out. It's a really awesome collegiate tournament with mind-blowing prizes. If you're not a college student, you can also do fantasy brackets, and you can possibly win $10,000. I like to do, so I'm definitely going to be filling out a fantasy bracket, and I hope you do too. And Gilly and I will hopefully see you again here on Heroes Hype Amateur Series very soon.
Yep, thank you again for watching. Thanks again for helping me cast Anna. And thank you, Heroes Hype. We'll see you guys next week. GG, Goat Gaming. Bye.
They're pushing A. Bombs A.